So let me ask you, when you do your Lascivious Jones character,
Yeah.
do you see that as super racist?
A little bit.
Yeah.
And I didn't think about that back in the day when I used to do
Well, here's the
it, but
thing.
doing
Here's
it
the
again
thing.
in 2025, it
Dude,
felt that way.
here's the
And I
thing.
was really glad you modulated my voice
Yes.
going into the YouTube
Yes.
video.
All right. So here's the thing. Like, you were in county for a year. So it's like you were around jail for, like, you heard vernacular soaking
And
into you.
and honestly, the Lascivious Jones character is just what people in Rowan County Jail sound
You,
like.
you know what I see it as? I see it as like a mockery of white rappers that like totally steal the culture and make it their own. So it's like,
Well, I like that I can move back and forth within
yeah, to
every time I
articulate.
do it. I always like move into the. So now what you need to do is
Right,
copy and paste, and then call Diane in HR, and then I come right
right.
back to the in Tim's. Well,
Here's the thing. That's Boondocks, and I think you're doing Godzilla big wrong. You have to say Godzilla like you would say God damn it, doing it Godzilla big. So it's like it's
Godzilla big.
you
It's
got
been a while since I watched the
right,
episodes.
right. I see it like the people around me, the people around here. That is how a lot of young white males speak.
Yeah. Oh no,
Yes,
no, no. I
it
know
is.
the males of who you speak.
I do. Yeah. So is
I've
it
met them.
is it hateful? I know you're not a hateful person. I know that you're so left that you fart in PR,
Yeah. Who
but you
just
don't have
got
a.
defunded. They're
Yeah,
suing. It's
yeah. So
fine.
I saw
It's
that.
fine. Yeah.
Do you see your character as offensive?
Um,
Do you
I,
appreciate it's a character?
yeah, and I feel like it's starting to borderline on an Apu situation where like I've been doing it for a long time, but maybe it's no longer as appropriate as maybe it once was.
Kind of like rape.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Was the time you could just get away with that?
No, 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 no. No, no, no,
Now
no.
there's a rubric. Well, even that, to be dead honest, when I think about how shit worked in the like late '90s, early aughts, the idea was you ply a girl with drinks until she agrees to
Yes,
have sex
yes.
with you.
Look here,
And
man.
looking
Look,
back on that, I'm
stop,
like, oh,
stop, stop,
that's
stop,
horrifying.
stop.
Yeah,
A
all good.
big part.
Mm.
No one was looking, and we never thought
Well,
anyone would ever be looking, and we didn't consider
no.
that we are digitally logged. And what you said, who you were, all your profiles, your fucking Tinder profile, whatever,
Mm.
all of that is banked somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's a different world. You have the eyes of God on you
Well,
all the time.
the good news is, number one, I grew up in an environment where all the media, was, like every movie and TV show, was like,
Right.
this is how you get girls. Like this is the standard. And it's like, oh no, like that's a lot of sex crimes. Like Indiana Jones
Yeah.
kind of did some sex crimes.
She was super young.
Like, she
Yeah.
well, a lot of people have done the math and they've worked it out to about 25-15 is how they've worked it out. And
He's
it's
25,
like
she's 15.
when she was like, I was a child, and he was like, you knew
Oh.
what you were doing. They were
Ooh.
like, okay, so at
If she
best
stayed
she
in
was
school
15.
this long, if she went through her midterms and she did okay, she proceed to the next semester. Do people
Yeah.
have too much fucking time on their
You
hands?
know who I really like
Too
is
much.
Caravan of Garbage. It's two Australian guys talking about movies and
Cool.
TV shows and stuff,
I'm-
and they're freaking hilarious. And every now and again, they'll catch themselves making like very like regional references, and if they go two in a row, they'll pile on to
Nice.
where they'll be like, what about Whataburger? What about Mullis Music? What about Music Mart? What about
So
Charlie's on
specific.
29? Like,
So
they'll steer
specific.
into it to make the joke land, and I really appreciate that,
I'm
even though
seeing-
I don't know what the hell they're talking
I'm seeing a
about.
lot of like a trend of like smarmy real smart ass. So it's like
They're
YouTube feed.
not, though.
No,
They're fun.
everybody in general. Or it's like put a camera
Yeah.
on yourself, be a dick.
Well, it's the cynicism. It's
Yeah, it
like
sells.
we've commodified cynicism to a point where I'm trying to be less cynical.
Ooh,
Like, because I just as a person, because I'm like,
that's some gay shit, man.
oh,
Yeah,
they're trying to. Well, I'm woke as shit. I still
yeah,
feel empathy.
super gay. But you are
So
also Lascivious Jones. Like,
yeah,
that's also you. And you have way too many cars in your driveway.
well, right now I have no cars in my driveway until next week. It's a little scary.
I bet.
Like,
I bet.
there is no company vehicle in my spot.
There's
but,
no way out.
There will be again in Monday.
How are the cats? Yeah, how's your
Oh,
cats?
cats are fine. We got
Cool.
plenty of cat food. We got plenty of
Cool.
litter. I just handed $1,400 to my landlord today, being like, "Hey, I'm going back to the old company. It's fine. Beer in the fridge, weed in my bowl."
Dude, that's the
Cash
most
in the
grown up
bank.
shit. That's the most grown up shit I've ever heard coming out of you. Like, I'm so proud that you learned how to handle it and not get pissed off and cuss bosses out.
Don't get me wrong. If the Shufro thing hadn't happened like
Yeah,
real
you'd
quick,
be in
if they'd
trouble.
been like, "Nah, bro," then
Yeah.
there would have been an extra week to the scramble, and I would have had to negotiate with the power company.
Right.
But
Hey,
'cause I'm on a payment plan with them.
Hey, check
So,
this out. Check this out. The Siemens rep came in, and Josh
Yeah.
like greenlit me to be as much of a dick as I can. So like I took all the jobs and I got all the money together, and it's like the choices between Siemens or Honeywell, and I just put it in front of him with the total on top. It's like 600K, and I'm like, dude, do you want this? It's like, here's the problems that we're having, and we haven't committed these jobs to anyone. It's easier for me to go to Honeywell because I don't have as much bullshit as you.
yeah,
And,
because they're not proprietary.
Dude, I had to send back a pallet of equipment, like 14 grand. It took
Siemens or Honeywell?
Siemens, and it took
God.
them a month to make that happen. And it took me like dropping nuts on this dude. And this guy's like, "Hey, can I take pictures of this?" All right, he said, "Can I have this?" And I just grabbed it back and I said, "No." It took a lot of work to get all this together. But it's like, I was ultra dick. Like, we had all the people in there ganging up on him.
If you want this market data, you're gonna pay me.
Dude, if you want to know what we've got on contract.
We should loop Kevin Lurs in on this. He just jumped in on Forza. We should loop him in. I want to hear Kevin Lurs' opinion on some of this.
He's been hitting the pranks. He's been hitting the pranks hard. He takes these exploding things.
His best life. He's y'all's residential intrusion
dude,
guy.
He's in their will. Like he is total. He's total manager of the service side, but he's got these exploding firecrackers, and he'll put a piece of scotch tape, and he'll put he'll put it in Dustin's door hinge. So when Dustin's leaving for the day, like, it fucking explodes. And it's amazing.
That's brilliant.
Dustin kept coming around and fucking with people's name tags. So they took super glue and put thumbtacks on the back of it. And we got him on camera walking up to it and grabbing it and making his face. Like shit got penetrated because he did it all the time to fuck with this one chick. He would fuck with her name tag. So we super glued thumbtacks and it was amazing.
Dude, you should get Kevin Lurs to negotiate me back as a service tech. I'll take a pay cut for that kind of joy.
I'm
so good at it.
They got some hot fire guys. Like, it would be a conversation. What I see more, it was like we're about to grow and buying the senior center, so we're gonna have warehouse, and we're gonna be storing a lot of this shit. It would be easier and more likely that I could bring you on as help. So it's like you and I would be handling that entire section. Because that's how big they've grown.
I'm worth too much money to be warehouse help.
No. You would get paid.
All right.
I can negotiate it. I could likely negotiate it. I don't know if they'd fuck with you again, honestly, dude.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I burn bridges like
Josh would.
Out of style.
Josh would.
Burnt a bridge.
He repeatedly says how he liked talking to you. You were good to talk to, and it was always interesting and entertaining. Yeah.
Like, that's why it's good to have a smart guy work for you. It's just complicated because he's gonna call you on your bullshit.
Well, that aside, I learned that's the path not to take. But the conflict with Dustin, if you can get to the mentality where it's like, oh, this guy doesn't matter. He's not my boss. Then it's so much better. Like, it's
Well,
just so much better.
the reason I couldn't do that is they
I
literally
know.
made him my
I know. I
boss,
know. I know.
which was such a slap in the
Hey,
face,
do you
and
know
it was
how?
only going to end one way.
Do you know how?
Like,
Do you know how I got him out of his management role? So it's like I had a conversation with Josh, and I was telling him about how I'm working, and he's telling me about how his daughter had a skin condition and a rash, and they had to take her to Raleigh. It was all on her genitals, and these special doctors
oof,
came in, and since it was rare, they
ugh.
documented the case. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, first of all, how often do you think of an 11-year-old's vagina? I hope it's not often.
Never. Yeah,
Fingers
never.
crossed. Second of all, hey, Dad, would you mind not talking about my pussy to your coworkers? It's like,
Right?
do you think you can handle that? And I
Because they
realized,
might be trying to do some work. Like,
and like I told that to Josh because I was telling him how much I love the position, how being inside, doing the odds and ends that I do, the blueprints and on the inventory, I just tell him how
mm.
lucky I am. And I said, but I'm really afraid I'm going to cuss Dustin out. And he like took that shit seriously. He set me off. I have my own cubicle. I have my own little world. If they
I
moved up,
kind of had the same
dude,
conversation with Josh a while back, but he chose Dustin over me, which, to be
Dustin had more
fair,
value. Dustin did.
Dustin had more value
Yeah.
at the time.
Of what he
Now
does.
I have more value than like most
No,
people in a low voltage company.
he takes on most responsibility, and also they do have a guy that came from fire who's like a hot shit, worked for UNC for a long time,
Mm,
and he brought a couple guys over, and like Kevin's service department is swinging. I think you would have a
nice.
much happier life if we grew to the point where you were. It was you and I holding down half of blueprints and all of inventory. We're talking, they're in the millions, dude.
I agree with that, but like at the same time, like I love the thrill of the kill, and that's a lot of why I'm going back to Shufro.
Yeah,
Like
that's pretty rare.
when I go into the office and they're like, "All right, here's the service calls you've got up," and I've got 4 of them solved before I ever get back in the
It's
car.
a good feeling.
Like, because I just know what's about to happen. And when I walk into the place, I walk into people's homes and businesses with pure
And
confidence.
just go directly to
And
the
I'm
issue.
like, yep. And I'm like, or even when I'm like, okay, I need you to tell me exactly what
Which
you're
way?
doing
Which
and
way did
what's
he run?
happening.
What color shirt was he wearing?
But like I think it scared ESCS that like they sent me on 2 major jobs in my first month and a half. And the first one, I was like, hey, Bosch has put out an entirely faulty product that needs to be recalled.
Mm,
And the second one was at a very highfalutin apartment complex in Boston.
mm,
And I rolled in and was like, hey, these are 2 adjacent access control doors on
yeah.
one route of
Duh.
travel
Yeah.
that don't have a camera on them that have been destroyed by people who know how this gear works.
Huh.
They dismantled shit to destroy it. There's something else going on here. And that wasn't even one we had installed. It
You
was
go
just
full
taken over.
detective. Yeah, you go full detective.
It's me. It's
You like it?
fucking me. I
You like
love
it?
it. It's why I do this. My favorite thing to do at Shufro was I go into somebody's house for a faulty motion detector. And I walk in there with my 4-foot ladder, and I put up the ladder, and they're standing right behind me, and I climb up the ladder to where I'm looking at the motion detector, and then I turn around and
Mm.
just look at their house while they're looking at me, being like, why aren't you looking at the motion detector?
You're
And they're
looking at
like,
what it's triggering. Yeah.
yep, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
An
hey,
air conditioned vent, a
that
plant.
fern
Yep.
right there
Yep.
is in the
Yep.
window, and this is happening every day at 1:15 p.m.
Dude,
Like, move that plant.
I had a business back in the day, and they put up signs right by where their motion was, and they would open roll-up doors, and it would just always trigger. And
Every time,
the
because the
AC would kick
roll-up
on.
doors are getting hot from
Yeah.
the sun
Also,
from the outside.
the AC duct was near, so it was kind of pushing it. And
Yep.
I understand. That's cool. Maybe you
And
do
it
blow
was
up. Maybe you
also
do.
creating a variance between the
Yep.
cold air and the hot air
Yeah.
to where the motion detector had already renormalized the warm of the door itself. But when the AC kicked on, then it was seeing the door as a temperature spike.
Huh. Do Bosch motions do that? They read temperature, temporal.
They're a PIR, passive infrared. It's all heat based. So when most people hear motion detector, they think
Ah,
it's T-Rex. If I stand still, it can't see me.
right.
But it's not T-Rex, it's Predator.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like, it sees body
Are
heat.
you
That's how it
sure? Are you
activates.
sure that's how it
Positive.
works? Are you?
Dude, fucking positive.
Cool.
I've talked to the people who invented the technology.
Ooh.
Like,
Ooh.
this
Yeah.
is how I explain it to homeowners when
I'm.
I'm explaining their passive infrared motion detector.
Right.
Infrared is the key. They
Mm.
don't see your body, they just see your heat.
Hey,
So anything that creates or detracts heat
I believe you,
is
man. I believe
that.
you. It's a variant. Yep.
You don't have to believe me.
It
That's
doesn't
how the
matter,
tech
Kevin.
works.
You don't
It's
mind.
not a
You
matter
don't
of
miss.
belief.
You
It's
don't miss being
fact.
inside and like looking at big
It's
monies.
electrical.
You don't miss that fucking that inside pouring rain outside. I get
I
to
don't
roll
want
up,
to
have
look
my
at it. I
coffee.
want to make it.
Yeah.
I want to be on the bid side where like I'm selling that to
You
people
couldn't.
where
You
I'm like,
couldn't with their guy now. He's a dick.
we're the best at this.
No,
Like
your
we'll
personality
make your stuff
would
sing.
clash with this guy so hard. Like he's a super fake
That's
guy.
fine. It's okay.
Nah.
Dude, like I'll come back to North Carolina in
Do you want
15
to?
more years
Is
where
that
I've
what you're
already
thinking
made.
of?
Yeah, because
Then what are
what's
you
going to
doing, man?
happen? I'm making all my money in Massachusetts where the money's big, and then coming back down to North Carolina and buying an outrageous house and amount of land
That
for
sounds like
short money because that's how it
it sounds
works.
like both of us would need to make real moves, because like it sounds like we're just getting by. That's
No,
how I feel.
I'm already back to real moves. I'm not even taking a pay cut going back to Shufro.
It's cool.
Like they're keeping me at the 30 something an hour. I'm not going to get all that dope prevailing wage $50 to $70 an hour shit.
It's
But
pretty
at the
sick.
same time, I'm also going to be able to sleep at night, and I've already bought all my synth gear. So
You already know the job and the people, and they know
and the
you.
people and like
See, they
it's gonna
know
be
you.
my old service manager took me out for dinner 2 nights ago and was like, yeah,
Sick.
we're gonna get you back, call the boss tomorrow.
No
And the
shit.
boss is the owner,
Right.
like he's the
Old
inventor,
guy
he's the
with the
guy.
still turning his screwdriver. Yeah,
And he
I
loves me so
remember.
much.
Dude,
Like, he's like, you're the best technician we've ever
we
had. I just have to work out how we can afford you because we replaced you.
well,
Like, and the new guy's not good.
yeah,
Like,
that's a good feeling.
yeah,
There's similarity with Diamond there. There's actually human connection, and like they know
yeah.
you. You were there for years. They know how you are. They know your antics. Dropping a Kevin Gerard into a group of people, it can go a lot of different ways. But
It,
somebody,
it, it just went
yeah,
away at ESCS. Like, it went
it
away.
went that
Like,
way.
I
Dude,
disrupted
you
morale
fought.
for the entire technician
You
corps.
fucked up their
Like,
whole course, and you fought with a major corporation on their dime. You're like,
yup.
no, we're going to war over this motherfucker.
We're going to war.
This shit is real. Battle
So
cry.
the thing that finally killed it was Sunday night. I'm watching the Celtics,
Right.
and I'm half drunk because it's Sunday
No way.
night. And I'm
No
watching
way.
the
You?
Celtics. I know, right?
Nah.
On a Sunday, it's
No.
perfectly reasonable. Game night.
No
I'm
way.
allowed. It's the weekend. I'm drinking my way
Yeah.
through the weekend.
All right, dude.
Um, well, anyway, like, so
What
it's
they do?
halftime.
They call it
It's
okay.
halftime,
Okay.
and the Celtics are down by 2. And all of a sudden, I get an email on the company phone from my boss being like, "Good news, guys! The summer hours are starting, so we are all going over to 4-day, 10-hour shifts.
God, those
Everybody
are
gets a
awesome,
3-day
dude.
weekend."
Those are fucking awesome. I
And
miss
then
410s. Shit.
in that big email, he said, "Except for you, Kevin, you don't qualify for it yet because of corporate policy. You
Nah.
get to start it next year."
No way.
He
No
pitched
way.
this to me in my
To the
interview.
whole
He
company.
was to the yup.
The whole
And
fucking company.
so I called his personal cell phone immediately.
Yeah.
And it was like, "Hey Ben, what's this about?" And he's like, "Well, company policy." And I'm like, "I didn't see anything about the 410s or
Right.
me personally in the corporate
So you would have
handbook."
to work by yourself on a Friday while nobody else worked?
Basically, so it's
Mhm.
punishment. Like,
For
he
being
leveraged
vocal.
up. Yeah. And so I was like, so let me get this straight. When we had our opening interview, you offered me 38 an hour and the contract came in at 32 and I grumbled and I signed it and it's fine. Then 3 months later, when I was like, hey, you told me there'd be a cell phone allowance and I need to get my phone fixed. Like, what's up with that? Instead of paying me the phone allowance you had promised me, you gave me an iPhone I didn't want that's incompatible with the Google Work Suite that we use. So that was lie number two. And I was like, and you've been telling me since the jump that we're rolling into 4 day. You just told me in the office, hey, aren't you looking forward to this? And now it's gone.
Fuck
I
yeah,
was like,
410s. That would be
yeah.
amazing.
So I was like, hey, Ben, that's lie number three. You need to get somebody to come get my van tomorrow morning.
Did you say fucking, or did you just straight up say van?
I
My
just said
fucking
van.
van? Good for you. Kept it
No,
professional.
I might have said fucking. I don't think I
You were
did
lit.
though. I
You
said,
were lit on a
hey,
Sunday. You
I wasn't
definitely
that
said, you
lit though.
definitely said fuck it.
I
No.
don't think I did. And
No?
I honestly, by the way it played out, I don't think I did.
Okay.
Because I was like, hey, you need to send somebody to get this van tomorrow. And he was like, okay. And
That's what
I
he
hung
wanted.
up. And
That's what
that
he
was
wanted.
it.
Yeah, that's what he
It's what he
wanted.
was pushing for. And then,
Yeah.
like, every technician in the company texted me immediately afterwards
Really?
and was like, what are you doing? And I was like, look, you
Fuck
guys
these
are
people.
fine doing what you're doing,
Yeah.
but fuck these people. And
Yeah.
like
Love those
their
stories.
best field technician, I was just installing a camera with Kedwin the other day,
Mm,
who's like he's a legal citizen from the Dominican Republic,
sure.
and he's great guy. He's seen the inside of a jail cell and he's tried
Mm,
cocaine. Like he's a
okay.
guy I can talk to.
Okay. Okay.
But he's also been working for the company for like 8 fucking years. He's
So he's
like one of
institutionalized.
yeah, he's one of their big
There
guys.
is no reform.
But like it's gotten to the point where when they send he and I out to like do some cameras or something, he's like, I'm figuring out how to get out of here.
Mm,
The problem is he's over leveraged. Like he's
mm,
still paying child support on minor
mm,
children and
mm,
is remarried with new children and has a
mm,
lease on like nice vehicles and
mm.
is paying a mortgage. Like
Dude, ingrained.
and
Ingrained.
the rest of the kids, there's only three other
Mm.
techs, and they're all under the age of 30 and have only ever worked for this company, but all drive like nice, like fancy sports cars or own homes,
People
one
are
or
really
the other.
stupid. They're really
And they
stupid with
all
vehicles
collect
these days.
guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good for you, man. Quitting store feels good. Did you do it before knowing you could return to your old job?
Well, I've been in the loop with the old job the whole time. Like,
Mm,
I'm still talking to like my old service manager and
mm,
like my contemporary, like the other guy under the age of 60 in the company.
mm,
Because there's only two dudes. It's
mm.
Ricky, who's 65,
Racist.
and Richie, who's
Yeah.
72.
Richie's
Ricky's actually getting better. He turned
getting
on Trump
better.
when the Dow dropped.
Ricky's
Like,
getting better.
he took me out to dinner to Applebee's with his brother the other night, and he was like, everything you said about Donald Trump was absolutely right. I've
Oh,
made a lot
somebody
of
flipped.
mistakes. I'm rethinking a lot of stuff. I
Somebody
live in
flipped.
Massachusetts. It
I'm
didn't
really
take
afraid of.
much.
I'm really afraid of the apocalypse and injecting religious ideologies into how we operate, how we move as a
Yeah.
nation.
Yeah.
That sends a chill down my spine.
The good news is if it ever gets like super wonky out of control to where you just can't handle it anymore, you can crash on my couch and help us defend the Republic of New England from the wackies. Because
That'd
we
be a
have
cool
religion
end.
up here, but we're
Yeah,
mostly like papists and Jews and everything else. So there's such a melange up here that no one
melange, great word.
religion ever was able to take hold
Yeah,
where I live.
yeah. Cities,
Like,
large cities. That's a melting pot. You get a little bit of
yo,
everything. The only exposure I get is Arabs at tobacco stores. That's the only
yeah.
people out here in sticks. And honestly, I
And if
love
they
them.
own a tobacco store, they're pretty well assimilated.
And
They're like,
they
America, fuck yeah, I
they
hate all
believe
the immigrants.
they behave like
Like,
merchant. Their understanding of their situation.
I got Dairy Mart up the street. They sell booze, convenience store shit, and I mean it's like Danny's if they didn't sell chicken, but was a liquor store and had a
God,
Keno
don't you
there.
miss Danny's
And
chicken?
like all
Holy
I
shit.
do, I
Dude,
very
you
much
fucking
do.
took me back. Do you remember you were living one of
On
the
St.
times
Mary.
you were on St. Mary and I was up on Spring Street?
Mm-hmm.
And then we did it again, and then I moved down by the train tracks. Ugh.
Yeah,
The,
no, but I love Gibson Village.
mm,
Sorry, I'm smoking a cigarette.
you don't say.
I inhaled wrong when I
Were you
got
talking?
excited.
Yeah, you couldn't stop talking. It just went in. Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
but like because we had the whole world in walking distance. But the problem was the world was very small and weird.
And hostile.
It got like what's a little fucked up was like we did enough damage there to positively affect the area,
Damage.
and like when we left, it created a vacuum.
Maybe.
And that's what I want. No, I mean, like, Matt Peterson still bartends at Little Roberts, and I still follow downtown Concord politics. Like, what's actually happening with, like, city council and shit like that, because I knew all those people.
Right.
Like, I was on a first-name basis with
It
all
was
of those
it was
people.
your place. It definitely was.
But, like,
I'll be right
again,
back. Give me 1 second. Hang on.
Sure.